Hello everyone, welcome to the second video on Cisco Catalyst Center or Cisco DNAC automation section. In the first video, we have seen how to add a site and building in DNA Center. We added these sites and buildings using API. We have written this particular script during that demo. In this video, we'll see how to create the credentials and assign to the site. Earlier, we have seen the manual step. We need to go to network settings. The main office, we are going to add all the devices here. Device credentials, manage system, and add the credentials. Now to add the CLI, we need to give a name or description, then username, password. Enable password is optional, and then we can assign to a specific site. First, we need to add the logic for adding these credentials, CLI. Remember these options here. What are the values we need to pass? Username, password, and description. Same like that for adding the SNMP. We need to give name or description and the read community. Here we'll give RO as the community. So let us start coding for this. I'll go to VS Code. Here I'll create a new file 02 create and assign creds.py, and within this config.py we need to add some additional variables. I'll add it here. In this case, our target site is going to be global Coimbatore main office, and the username and password is going to be Cisco, and SNMP RO community is going to be RO, and the description is going to be Python SNMP RO. Okay, we need to add all these details because we need to pass all these variables for creating the credentials. All these, even you can make it as a single script and pass from the previous execution, but to simplify the logic, I'm just adding it as separate variable. I'll go to create assign creds.py. First, we need to add all the imports. Then I'll add even the function for getting the token. This we have seen earlier. Then I'll add the main execution logic where we'll be getting the token and storing this into the variable called token. Now, while selecting the credentials, we were getting the option to select with the site name in the UI, but in API, we need to get the site ID of the respective site. You can see here, this is the name. So we need to add code for getting the site ID. Let me add the code for that. We need to hit this URL, site, and then we'll be iterating through each site, and in the site name hierarchy, we'll compare it with our this target site value, and we have already imported that here. So what we can do here, get site ID. I'll store this to a variable called site ID equal to, then the function get site ID. To the function, we need to pass the token and the target site, which is coming from config.py. We'll try printing site ID for us to verify it. Now, if you want to see all the sites, you can even try printing this. This is not required for us to verify it. I'm just printing here, and then we'll be printing the site ID. Let me just try running this script. Python 302. Run it. Authentication is successful. Okay, you can see the entire site details, which is coming from here, this print. There is a site called global, and site name hierarchy you can see here, global / Coimbatore, and you can see the site hierarchy of each building. And this is the site ID for this particular site, global Coimbatore main office. Okay, now we need to use this later. I'll comment this print because this is printing a lot of data here. Now we'll add the logic for creating or getting the credential ID. So I'm saying that if site ID is there, if you're getting a valid site ID from the API, we're going to get the CLI credential ID, or if it is not there, we're going to create a new one. You can see here, to get the ID, we are passing the username. With the username, we need to search for the ID. And for creating it, we are passing username and password. Now I'll add code for both of these functions, get CLI credentials and create CLI credentials. This is the code for get CLI credentials, and within the API, in the global credentials, we need to give credentials subtype as CLI. When it is SNMP, we need to change this value. We'll see that. Now this will try to get the credentials if it is already there. And we are just trying to get it and compare it with the creds username. The entire response will come here. If you want, we can just try printing this, print creds. And we'll add code for this also, create CLI credentials. And if you see the API endpoint, here this is a get call, and this is going to be a post. And you can see the URL here. We are sending data to the CLI endpoint. Then this is the payload. And this is just some error handling. Okay, we'll try running this. Create assign creds. This is printing the site ID. Okay, now this is, you can see here, it is printing the credentials which we added. Now if you go to DNAC, this will be under global manage credentials, because we haven't assigned this to the site yet. Go to system, and here we can see the new credentials which we added. Same like this, we can add even code for adding the SNMP credentials. This is also same as the CLI credentials. We need to have two functions, get SNMP and create SNMP. I'll add the code for that. Get SNMP. So here the subtype is going to change. Just as same. And then we are going to get with the description, and then we'll be getting the ID. Then for the create, we are passing the community and the description. So you can see here SNMP RO community and SNMP description, which is coming from this file. Okay, now this will be creating the SNMP community. We will try running the script again. So this is successful. We'll check that. Close it. Click on global, manage credentials system. And we can see the new credentials which is added. Now, but if you notice here, it is not under main office, it is under global credentials. To assign this to the main office site, we need site ID, the IDs of both the credentials, which we already got. Here we can see the ID of the CLI credentials, same like this. If you run it again, we'll be able to even see the credentials of SNMP. This one, and this is the CLI credentials, and this is the SNMP credentials, and this is the site ID. And now we need to create a function called assign credentials to the site. So we will be calling this function. We need to pass token, site ID, the CLI ID, and SNMP ID. All these variables we have, we need to just add this function code. I'll add the code here. Here we need to send data to this URL, credentials to site, and the site ID. You're already passing the site ID, then the token. Within the payload, we need to give this key, CLI ID. It is in a class format, and payload SNMP v2 read ID, and then there we are giving SNMP ID. Then doing a post, passing the authentication header and the payload. Here we'll add the else condition. If CLI ID or SNMP ID is not there, it will say that could not retrieve valid credential IDs. And this else is coming from this if statement, site ID. If site ID is not there, it will stop execution there itself and say stopping script as site ID was not found. Okay, we'll try running this. This is the site ID. This is the credential. Task accepted and assignment task is running. Now we'll go and check it in DNAC. Previously, the credentials were not assigned to this site. We'll check that. Now you can see it is assigned to the particular site. In this video, we have completed all these steps. Get site ID, get or create CLI credential IDs, then get SNMP credential ID. And if it is not there, we are even adding logic to create it. Then finally, we are assigning all those credentials to the particular site. And for adding those, we are passing these variables here. Target site, username, password, and SNMP community details. I hope this video was helpful for you to understand how to create CLI and SNMP credentials and assign to the site. In the next video, we will do device discovery. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.